Aloha, everyone, and welcome to Justaposition, the podcast where we explore mental health, vulnerability, and life journeys with creators you know and love. So make sure you subscribe to the Justaposition YouTube channel and stream episodes every Thursday. That's when they come out. Make sure you check us out every Thursday on any platform that you listen to your podcast. Today, the guest is one of the funniest content creators I think I've ever discovered. I discovered her I don't even know how long ago, during the middle of the pandemic, and I was like, this is exactly the type of energy I need in my For You page and in my day-to-day life. What's on V's face? V. Round of applause.
Yay, thank you. So sweet. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I have done podcasts before, and
Nice.
I don't necessarily enjoy it unless it's conversational and unless I feel like I'm meeting a friend and having a conversation with a friend. So I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, that
Genuinely.
means so much. Honestly, thank you. I'm really glad. Yeah, I like to keep it super conversational, and I'm so glad we've been able to hang out multiple times before this because we first met when it was Leah, you, and a bunch of other content creators. We were all drunk in a karaoke bar in New York City. And then last time I saw you, we bonded over mutual anxiety at the Hailey Bieber skincare line launch event for Rode. So we have the trauma bonding that's there. We have the familiarity, so we're good.
We are. I feel close to you already the second I found out you're also a Shroomie. Wait, am I supposed to say that? Am I supposed to say that? Is that no, but in all honesty, the first time I met you, the thing about me is I need to like you as a person, and I need to find you fun and interesting and easy to be around. And the first time I met you, I already knew you would be a good hang, and I was so happy because when I meet content creators and they match up to their energy online or even more exceeded their persona online, I feel like super blessed to do this because I have people I trust and people I respect gaining exposure and a good place in the community. So I feel like I'm always rooting for people like yourself because I know you work hard, you connect with people in real life. You're just the whole time we were hanging out, you were never on your phone or distracted or anything, and that was so I love that about you. Even my boyfriend, he knew I was coming
so
on
cool.
today, and he was so excited for me. And he was when I met Hyram, he was genuinely asking me about myself, genuinely interested in asking me questions. He said that about you, and that left him a really good impression as well. So I'm honored to be here.
You're so sweet, both of you guys. No, honestly, it's such an honor, being able to have you in my life. And I love how you said it, being able to connect with really genuine people, because one of the things I'm really grateful for is, and I know you feel the same way as well. I feel like I'm sometimes, not all the time, but pretty good at reading people's energy and if they have a good, wholesome, genuine energy. And I've been so fortunate in my life and in this specific job to be able to meet other people who just have a really genuine, kind, humble energy, and that's definitely you. It was, it goes beyond the keyboard, it goes beyond the screen with some people, and that's definitely how I felt for you, where I was I just know this girl is so freaking cool, and I just know we're gonna vibe instantly. So thank you for the kind words, and thank you for coming on. I'm so stoked to have you on because, well, there's just a bunch of different topics that I want to cover. But before we get into those topics, I want to hit you with some rapid fire Q&As so that, well, I can learn a little bit more about you, but also for anyone who is watching who may not know your content can learn a little bit more about you as well. So for the rapid fire Q&As, let's start off with just some simple, fun ones. I always like to keep these kind of short, lighthearted, and just super fun. So I guess the first question for anyone who's new, what do you do?
So right now I am just trying to find the next thing that I'm passionate about outside of content creation, because I feel like this is not something I want to do for the rest of my life, and I need to pivot to something else. as much as I like connecting with people in my audience, sometimes I feel like it's not sustainable for my mental health. So I am just honestly I'm in the step where I'm brainstorming and trying to see where I want to go next. Yeah, so I do have a lot of time on my hand, to be honest. But I've been trying to be more active because I live in New York, so I love the energy and the life and the hustle here. So I'm trying to go out there and meet more people and hopefully be in the right place at the right time, you know? And this is the perfect place to do that.
It is.
You just never know who you meet.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you to like be in an environment where you can really like redefine yourself, because I feel like that's one of the best parts of New York is that it gives you so many opportunities to really like discover who you are. So I'm stoked for you. And you know, I do want to touch a little bit on like kind of leaving the influencer space and like finding other passions and finding other goals later on in the conversation. But next rapid fire question, what would you say is like your newest hobby, your new thing that you discovered that you're like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this?
Besides ice latte? No. So I am I'm trying to think because I am in the process of like trying out a lot of new hobbies and see which one sticks, because I think that's the key to living in your body and getting outside of your head. So these days I'm trying rock climbing, I'm trying kickboxing,
Nice.
I'm trying like Pilates. I'm trying a whole new different a whole wide variety of things. And I also try to like sew, like make clothes. I started, but I'm taking a little bit of a break. But like you said, New York is the perfect place because it allows you to just go out there and do it as long as you have money. That's another thing. You need to have money. Factor. Like I don't want to romanticize New York. Yeah. It's a hard city to live in when you don't have money. Let's just say that. But yeah, I maybe if I have to pick one right now, maybe I would say like rock climbing. I'm trying to get better.
I love it. Rock climbing is so much fun and it's so active and very like kinesthetic experience. So that's so cool. Okay, well, actually you touched on the next rapid fire question I was going to ask. What is your go-to coffee order?
So right now I'm a little bit basic. I do just an iced oat latte. Latte with oat milk.
Yes, oat milk. The best.
It's so reliable and it's hard to mess it up. So I can expect consistency for most places.
I love it. I love the oat milk. That's in my opinion, the best milk to mix with coffee. I don't mix milk with my coffee. I'm kind of a purist in that way, a snobby purist. Wow. But I'm like, if you're going to use milk, then do oat milk because that's the best way to go. Okay, and then last rapid fire question. What is one thing that you regret spending money on?
Oh my God, that's such a great question because I am so irresponsible when it comes to money. One of my followers say I don't have time to care about money. I'm busy living, and that's how I feel like at the moment. I think if I really have to say, I feel like college.
Oh my God, isn't that the truth?
College.
Absolutely, yes.
College was I'm so thankful for the experience because I don't know anything else. I don't know what I'd be like if I didn't go. So I have to say I'm grateful for who I am today because of college. But like, did I need to spend all that money for a school with a name? You know what I mean? So I wish I went to a more affordable college and had, maybe different experiences. I don't know.
Oh, I feel that so much. Looking back, I'm just like, why the fuck did I spend so much money on this? It's so stupid. That's moments when I think about it. I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I dropped out because wow.
Yeah. I honestly feel like college, you pay to buy the network, the connection. But I was in a place where I was very sheltered and naive and wasn't like aware that was the game that we were supposed to play. So I didn't like get out there and meet as many people, and like the stuff that I learned in school, those stuff I can teach myself. To be completely honest, I'm there to make friends, to make connection, and to maybe like gain the wisdom from the professors and the people around me. But as far as like the technical stuff, when like I feel like, oh, I didn't even apply my career in my career. So it did feel like a waste of money because I didn't make the best out of it.
No, it's okay. Honestly, I think there's so many improvements that we need just culturally when it comes to the way that we view college and the way that we're kind of like utilizing that time and experience. And there are like, not necessarily regrets, but a lot of things where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done that differently when in college. But at the same time, I'm like a firm believer in that, like every choice you made, resulted in like where you are today. And the whole reason that I was able to connect with you is being able to discover you on TikTok, creating, skincare related content that was, this is why I love TikTok. I literally just had Yaya Young on, and I could say the exact same thing about him. I love having people, like being able to connect with people in the skincare space who combine comedy and skincare education. And I feel like you do such a good job of that, because that's really what my goal was from the beginning of my channel, is like, let's, figure out a way to make something as complicated and as sometimes boring as skincare can be and make it more entertaining. So like, I wanted to ask you, like, how did you first start like creating skincare related content? Like, what got you into it?
I just want to say, I feel like you and I, at heart, were entertainers. Yes. We just want to entertain. We want to like please people. We want to make people happy. I feel like that's why we like created skincare content in a way where it's like funny and easy to digest. But I think I started my skincare journey in 2018 on like offline. I was going through a very hard time in life, and like at the point where like a lot of my friends left me because it was my fault, but it felt very like isolated and lonely. And I think I went through a very like crippling anxiety and depression era where like I literally had to make a choice to get up and do something with my life. Otherwise, like I would let myself go completely. So I was thinking to myself, like, what would be just one thing that's easy for me enough to do, that doesn't feel like too exhausting, that I can practice every day. And it came down to skincare. But also I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, that's not what I look like. I could do better. I hated the person I saw in the mirror. So I started to just like pick myself up one piece at a time. And it started by like literally like not sleeping with makeup, something so simple, but I used to do because I was so tired by the end of the day. On washing my face, and then it escalated from there. And then everywhere I went, I started to get compliment on my skin in real life. And people would be like, what do you use on your skin? So I was like, why don't I make an Instagram page? Like just documenting my own routine for myself. I didn't realize there was a whole community behind skincare. Like, because up until then, I had no idea. I got on Instagram, and then I just started creating and like engaging with other creators. And then it didn't pick up, and it didn't start to happen until I like just show my personality. Because if I'm just gonna show like 3 skincare bottles every time on a photo, like that's boring. Anyone could do that. So, and I didn't feel like it inspired any creativity for me. I was like, oh, I want to do something more fun and creative, because I am driven by fun. If I'm not having fun, I can't stick to it. So I just show more of my personality and like start to gain more followers on there. But it wasn't until like TikTok that I blew up. I just randomly got on TikTok, started to like post a few random videos, and it blew up, and then got people to follow me on IG, and like here we are. Fast forward to a few years, couple of years.
I love that you touch on that authenticity, because not only I feel like is your personality kind of like the perfect example of like what people on TikTok absolutely love, because of just that, like unadulterated authenticity. But I feel like for a lot of creators and creators who have been able to see a lot of growth is that they face this like kind of critical turning point in their content where they realize that like, if I'm going to continue doing this, and if I want to be able to like see any type of growth or anything, I need to embrace the elements of myself that are, you know, my real personality and highlight that rather than try and like kind of cover it with the professionalism or the, you know, insecurities of, you know, like that come alongside with the internet. And that's the only way you'll really be able to excel and really see, you know, a lot of growth and enjoyment from the platform. But simultaneously, one thing I've loved about your content as well, and not even your content, just you as a person, is your transparency about your mental health. I admire that so much because I'm someone who's, you know, gone through a bunch of different, you know, mental health experiences. We talk about it, you know, on this podcast a lot, but, you know, sometimes there's a lot of like shame associated with different types of mental health issues, which I think only perpetuates those problems. And you are very forward facing about them and have even talked about how the internet and social media has kind of made it worse at times. So like what has your experience been with that, and what has your journey been? Because you've been pretty vulnerable about it.
Yeah. I believe like mental health is the most human thing about all of us. Like that's how we connect. But also with everything that's happening in the world or in our life, like everyone goes through shit. And if you don't have mental health, that means you are either very privileged or sheltered from all the trauma, or something is up with you. So I do believe that like I got to the point, I think 28, 29, I realized I've been living my whole life for other people. Like my cultural expectations, societal expectation, my parents expecting from me, because I am first generation immigrant. I came here with my dad, and my mom and my sister stayed behind in Vietnam for like 10 years. So I was the chosen child to go to America and to finish college. And there was so much pressure that I put on myself where I felt like I had to be successful. I had to go to college. That was a track for me because it was already set up and expected for me. Went to college, got a 9-to-5, made really good money, didn't enjoy the restriction of 9-to-5, quit that, did real estate, for like self-employed real estate, excelled that as well, but found out like I had so much mental, like I had so much rage in me when I was like in my mid-20s, and I didn't let myself be vulnerable. Like, because up until that point, I've been doing everything everyone else told me. And I had so much anger and resentment and rage. And I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I didn't talk to anyone about it. And then that's why the people in my life like left me, because I was toxic to them. Because I didn't know how to regulate myself, my emotion. And then it came to the point where in my late 20s, I'm like, I have to do something about it, because at this point, like, I'm the common denominator. I'm the problem. So I picked myself up. And I was like, who am I? Who is V outside of all expectation? And what would I do differently this time around? Like, what was the problem, the root of the problem? And that the root of the problem was I was trying to be someone I wasn't. I was trying to be a top first child immigrant. Like, I was trying to fulfill certain roles and responsibility. And I wasn't letting myself be me. I'm, as a person, very sensitive, very vulnerable, very, like, into rawness and connection. So I just lean into that. And I think it takes practice. But
and a lot of work,
it takes practice, But if the more you spend time with yourself and become more self-aware, the more you're comfortable with who you are, and you let some of that shine through, like, little by little every day. So every day I'm still like trying to be comfortable in my own skin, if that makes any sense. Like
absolutely. I mean, it's a work in progress. I think sometimes we view mental health through such a lens of like I am broken. I am fixed. How do I get fixed? And I've gone down that rabbit hole too, where I'm just like, something's wrong. I want to fix it. I want to improve it. I want to find the solution now and do it immediately. When in reality, it's oftentimes a daily challenge, daily reminders, daily battle. Some days will be worse than others, and it's, an ongoing thing, but it's about getting stronger over time and, being able to build that vulnerability and that strength. But also, like, one thing I love that you touched on is kind of the rage that you felt what had built over time. I can personally relate a lot to that because, growing up in an environment that was very homophobic, that was very conservative Christian, there was absolutely no acknowledgement or acceptance of any semblance of my real personality or who I was as a person. So many different elements that, I grew up suppressing that, and like you, living for other people. And I realized once I got to college and left home that there was so much rage and anger towards the world and towards other people built up inside of me that I had to really come to terms with that myself and just be like, is this the type of person I want to be? Do I want to live life just angry at myself, angry at everyone, bitter, and always, being distrusting and negative? Is that really the kind of life that I want to lead? And for me, it took a lot of work and a lot of time to get out of those mental cycles. Like, what was that like for you? I mean, you go to therapy. You posted about it before, yeah? Yeah. We are huge therapy advocates here on this podcast channel.
Yeah. It did take me years to get to therapy for several reasons, though. Like, the first reason being I didn't have health insurance. I was self-employed, and if I wanted health insurance, I would have to pay for it. And this is the mindset that I had when I was in my early 20s. I was like, you know what? I'd rather pay the penalty when I file my tax. It's cheaper than paying for health insurance. That was the mindset. Scarcity mindset, right? I didn't have money, so I chose the cheapest option. And that I didn't have access to therapy for years. The second reason being, I feel like everyone needs to come to their own term on their own pace with their mental health journey. Like, some people take some time to internalize and process before they're ready to share and ready to go to therapy, and that's totally fine. But like you say, as long as you're on the right track and you have the right people in your life who could support you to just move forward. You don't have to run or take a big step. You just move one step at a time. Like, just do something. But I took a long time because just no access, but also I needed to work with myself before I involve someone in. That was my journey. But I think being on social media totally inspired me to go and seek help.
That's good.
Because you talk about critical points in being a content creator, in a career, and I think there are multiple points, because as a person, you're allowed to evolve, you're allowed to change your opinion, you're about to update your information and unlearn and learn new things. I think as a human, we are entitled to that, but on social media, people are not very forgiving.
They're not.
To people who make mistakes, and I find that very hard as someone who's still growing and still dealing with a lot of mental health issues. I find social media was a hard place to be, and that's why I started to kind of take a step back and and I realized I realized it affected me because I care so much about my followers' opinion of me or validation. I care about them and who they I try to be the person they think I am, which in a way is like living for other people.
Yeah, it's repeating that same cycle that you experienced before.
Yeah, exactly. And I am someone who's trying to break free from all expectations. So the second I realized, wait a second, I feel like my content is totally dictated by the algorithm or my followers, and I'm doing things and I'm staying in this cycle because it's for content. It's not for me. It's not for my growth. So I took a step back and I'm like, no, this pattern we've gone on before. I know how this movie is gonna end, and I don't want to end. So I took a step back, and I'm just like, no, I just wanna be with myself, and be away from that for now.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because you recently, like, have taken a break from, like, posting as much. I remember, like, I think it was like the last time we connected, I had talked to you a little bit about it. I really respect that so much because, I think when it comes to content creation and being online, like, there's been, I think, a few studies done now among Gen Z and young people that, being a content creator, a YouTuber, or a TikToker is the number one most desired job in the world. So there's almost like an expectation that, like, once you're able to get to that point of self-sufficiency and self-support through creating content online, why would you ever leave? Like, why would you ever stop that? Why would you ever, discontinue trying to grow that or trying to build opportunities out from there? I think is kind of like the general consensus, but, you both of us, but we've been able to be on kind of the receiving side and have a different, I think, viewpoint of it. And I think it takes a lot of strength for you to be able to recognize that it's like, nope, this is not good for my mental health. This is not building me into the person that I want to be. This isn't the type of life that I want to be living, and I need to take a break and, even, step away in a bigger way. What was the taking the break like for you? And you mentioned before that you are going to be kind of moving completely away from content creation. Like, tell me about that. What has it been like?
No, I totally, yeah. It's funny because I want to acknowledge that the reason why I'm able to take it slow and live comfortably while I figure out the next stage of my life, the reason why I'm able to do this is because I do make income from social media, from content creation. So there's a lot of benefits. For sure, I don't want to like dismiss that.
Yeah.
But the thing people don't see is like the people only see the perks and they focus on the perks because it's so visible. Like being a content creator or an influencer is all about, it's very appearance focused. You have to show up and you have to show out, right? So people see that and they only see the perks of being an influencer and they don't see all the prices you have to pay. You are on your own. You run your own business. You buy your own health insurance. You pay employees if you're at the point where you have to pay you, so you're like responsible for a lot of livelihood. Like it's a business, and people don't see the downside of the prices that you have to pay, and not to mention your mental well-being.
Yeah.
Because once there's a monetary incentive to your content, your extra, the pressure is insane, and you start to like be less creative and be more of a business person. I feel like, at least for me.
Absolutely.
So it stopped. The fun kind of like goes away as you start making more money. And on the other side, like people, when you are nobody on social media, you can treat it like a school playground. Like you can use it to play, you could use it to express yourself, use it to make friends or whatever. But once you become somebody, it's a marketplace. You are now like not a person. You're an entity. You're a business. You're a brand. So like anything you do, people find it less like they're less likely to forgive you because now you have money tied to what you say and how you act. So I feel like we lose that like humanity as we gain followers on social media. And I feel like at the end of the day, not to be too deep, but I've been thinking about this a lot. No, go deep.
I love this.
We have to freaking stick together. We meaning like every single human on social media, because we are everything we got. Because like company like Instagram and TikTok, they only treat us like a product because they need the numbers to sell our data, or to sell they need to sell the number to company and whatnot. And brands like corporation, they treat us like just their salespeople. Like there's no one treat us like human. So unless we start to treat each other like human, it's so lonely to be on social media. Like we owe that to each other. Just be patient. Just be kind. Like get the nuances, and just treat me like a human. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
Like,
just
allow me to make mistake. Allow me to make mistake and learn from it. Like, don't just shut me out and then dismiss me because I am vulnerable enough to show you that, oh, I fucked up, I made mistake. You know?
Absolutely. I think everyone on social media, like no matter who you are, we need to have that perspective of treating each other that way, because you don't even have to be like a creator or an influencer or whatever in order to be negatively impacted by social media in a way that can be detrimental to your mental health or to your confidence, you know? And one of the things, like kind of what you were touching on with how the way that we use social media platforms and just the way that social media platforms are built is to treat us like a business. I think in a lot of ways, and this is coming from someone who absolutely loves the communal aspect of social media. Like I love that I've been able to connect with such an incredible community, but equally I see the damaging elements in the way that social media kind of is starting to destroy our base level empathy for one another, our consideration, because there's so many people on there. It's so easy to forget someone's humanity when it's a name on a screen, a comment on a video. And consequently, not only are, individuals and creators to each other starting to treat one another more like either monetary, opportunities within the system, or like not human, because it's a entertainment spectacle of the business platforms that we're using. But I think it's also starting to like trickle down into individual life and the way that we treat one another. Like I think all the time about like, you understand, you've gone through like TikTok comment sections where I will see like someone who like posted a video, just showing like their outfit, someone who had like 20 followers or something like that. And the video will just have sometimes like thousands of relentless comments just bullying them. And then I look within the comment sections and I see individual people commenting back and forth, attacking one another in such a ruthless way. And I'm like, whoa. Like, we have to remember, like you were talking about, the fact that these platforms are businesses and profit off of engagement and things like that. And we can't let the way that we utilize these social media platforms destroy our humanity for one another. And so it is kind of like, I respect your decision so much in like taking a break and even everything that you were saying, because as much as I am someone who's like, oh my God, I love social media, I love TikTok, I love YouTube, this is like so much fun, I'm also like, holy shit, what is going on? What is happening? This, there's some really dark stuff there that can really impact your mental health, no matter what like relationship you have, whether you're a creator or just an individual using the platform. Have you noticed in your life, like, because of that impact, do you just post less often but still consume the same amount of social media content, or have you tried to like peel it back on like how much social media content you're consuming? I know you said you're like getting out more, like rock climbing and Pilates and all that kind of stuff. What does your life look like on the day-to-day in terms of like social media interaction?
Yeah. So I try to, like, for myself, I try to write a lot because I try to smoke.
Yeah.
I'm a stoner, like chronically stoned. But when I am in the mindset, a stone mindset, I like to write. I just
That's awesome. Write
out whatever, and then sometimes it turns into content, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's just like a thought I want to keep to myself. So that I think it helped get the creative juice going. I don't have to show it. I don't have to show it for validation, but as long as I'm like content with what I write, that's cool. I also consume content, but I try not to be too, because it's so easy to get hooked. That's how it's designed. Like it's designed to get you hooked. So I try not to do it too much because I tend to go to sleep really late when I'm addicted to content consumption. And then that would throw up my whole routine, my whole life, because I realized like sleep is so important. If you don't get enough sleep, then you don't get enough things in during the day. And then if you don't get enough things in, then you have this like, it's called revenge bedtime procrastination. Like you stay up, you procrastinate sleep just because you didn't get enough done during the day. And
V, stop calling me out. Oh my God, you can just say my name. Literally, it's such a real thing. It's like
twins. Twins.
Yeah, I mean, that's good that you've recognized kind of what is tied to that like lack of sleep. Because I've noticed the same thing. Like I have been really trying to like not let myself go onto TikTok like 20 to 30 minutes before bed, because it will keep me up. It's something about the addictive nature of the platform where I'm just like, oh my God, I could just like stay up so late. So that's like good that you recognize that. And like you talking about smoking, like that was funny enough. One of like the first things that kind of like intrigued me about your content, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like so open and honest about like smoking, about like going into nature and taking shrooms and like talking about your experience. It's not only is your content like so funny and entertaining to watch, but I think it's kind of like breaking down a lot of like the stereotypes or judgments people might have about the helpful aspects of those things. And would you say like they've been able to help with your mental health overall?
Yeah. I think the last 2 years I've grown more than the first 29 years of my life, because I started my psychedelic journey back in 2019, and then that really made me see myself in a different light, different perspective. It made me see myself in a different perspective. So I just became more forgiving of myself, and that really paved the way for me to continue to work on myself and seek therapy, like professional help. And I think it pivoted to like the whole personality or character that I have today, and I'm so grateful. But with that being said, like I totally get that. It's cute because like I'm a tiny Asian lady who's like speaking funny, and it's cute when I smoke, but like people went to prison for that shit, like not that long ago. Like people are still serving like prison for the stuff that I'm doing and promoting. So like it started to weigh on me when I started to profit off of that, because it's like, okay, we get it, you smoke, cool. But it just made me feel very like self-righteous and conflicted.
I wouldn't say you come off as self-righteous at all, but like at all. And I personally never got that from your videos, but I will say like thank you for bringing that up, because that is something that makes me so angry is seeing like so many states legalize weed, so many of these modern hip style dispensary brands like coming out with all these like services and all these blends and everything, and I'm like, what about all of the people of color and Black individuals that are still serving prison time for possession of weed offense from like 10 years ago, that are still suffering the consequences of something that is considered trendy and fun today? So I wouldn't blame yourself for the deep-rooted societal issue, but I can totally understand how that would weigh on you. That makes sense.
Especially when it used to be a tool for the government to like turn Black people into slave again. Like, let's be real, it was a tool, and I realized that, and I just started to feel like, okay, maybe it's a little bit like insensitive to like keep profiting off of this persona. It's okay, like I still do it, but I'm just saying I'm not gonna make that my whole entire personality. Because I'm more than that. I'm more than just a stoner.
We know you are. We know.
I'm only I'm a full-time stoner, but also a full-time human. So I'm more than.
I love it. Yeah, I think that balance is great, and I think it's awesome that it's like, you know, it's great that it's an element of like who you are, but you know, that is one thing that kind of sucks about the internet, is that it does like to classify people by one specific aspect of their personality, and duality doesn't really exist. But you know, that's one of the reasons I like love having conversations like this, because it's like it's able to kind of show at a deeper level the who a person is beyond kind of like what they're known for. And you're primarily, you know, I would say you're most known for skincare when it comes to, you know, being online. And I wanted to ask you, like, do you think you would continue creating skincare content, which I think I know the answer to, but also like, where do you kind of see the skincare space going online? Where do you think it is? Where do you think it's really evolving to? Because it's changed so much even since we first got on, you know, TikTok and started seeing growth from that. Where do you think it is going?
Yeah. So I'm gonna speak for myself for the first part of the question. I think I am gonna try to cut back from skincare content unless I can find myself adding some value to it, meaning like it could just be entertainment. If I can make a piece of content that I enjoy watching and bring me some type of like entertainment, then I'm probably not gonna create it, because I feel like there's so many qualified voices out there. If you need to learn, I want to give space to these people. So unless I am not taking space away from anyone who are more qualified than me, then I will create that content. If I'm like, if my followers are like, oh V, we would love to know your current routine, or like your personal favorite keyword personal, so it's not like factual. It's not, you know, it may not be for everyone. So if that's something they want from me, I will give them that content. But as, for the direction of the community, I would hope that right now it's driven by shock value too much. I feel like I hope that people steer away from that. And I hope people are better at picking up, oh, this is a piece of entertainment versus this is a piece of science and fact. I would hope that people are more open-minded to nuances, and not everything is completely black and white. Even like the smartest people in the skincare industry will tell you that things are evolving. You don't know. Like years ago, we demonized certain ingredients. Today, like they are not that bad, or vice versa. So like things are constantly changing, and we're allowed to change. I hope people employ more like nuances in their thinking. This is just me being hopeful. I'm not saying this is where we're going. I think we're going the opposite way.
I know, I agree.
I think we're going the opposite way. I feel like on TikTok, like that's why I don't engage in skincare content, because it's like so shock, like focused. It just want to shock you and hook you in, and it's all misinformation. And then like the people who are qualified would go in and stitch it and provide facts, and their content is not entertaining or not shocking. So like there's no view for them. So I don't know where we're going, but it looks kind of dark from where I am.
I completely agree. Yeah, I was talking to like Young about the same thing, the shock value elements of it. Like it was very bizarre to see like how 6 years ago, I feel like anything online when it came to skincare was like DIY this and DIY that and make your own face scrub and, you know, non-toxic this, non-toxic that. And then we kind of saw like an evolution where more, you know, like science-based, you know, skincare information was available. There was, you know, like there's a lot of people, you know, online, like professionals and dermatologists and chemists who were providing really valuable information, and people were consuming all that information. And then now I think as people have kind of figured out their skincare routines and they're like, okay, you know, I'm good. Maybe I don't want to watch, you know, like a 20-minute video, like talking about a skincare ingredient or talking about skincare products. It's kind of made a lot of people go for the more shock value, attention grabbing things. And now I've been starting to see so many posts about like, this is toxic, that is toxic, this is how you do your own this ingredient is like evil and will destroy. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, are we like relapsing back into that cycle? And then you're absolutely right. The people who have, you know, the education, the expertise, like dermatologists, people don't feel as interested, you know, in engaging with nuanced information. So I
Yeah.
completely agree with you. Like, one can only hope that like people will view the world in a more in a less black and white way and in a more grayscale type of way. But I think that's really good insight. And I respect that you are focusing on the entertainment value that you can provide to people, because I've always believed that too. I'm like, one of the most impactful and valuable things that you can do online is make people laugh, make them smile.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the whole reason, like, I downloaded TikTok in the first place, you know, and the most valuable part of it, in my opinion. So I love that you're like focusing on that and finding your specific place, you know, within that niche.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I want to add one more thing, if we have time. But people tend to equate negativity with authenticity. And I think being negative online also draw a lot of attention.
Yes.
And kind of, so I think some content creators may be tempted by, you know, oh, like, this is toxic, you should never put this on your face, or so they choose that direction for their content. And I think that is a dangerous step, because if you are able to gain followers and someday like make money from it, you're gonna find yourself contradicting yourself, because you're gonna start to represent brands, you're gonna start to do sponsorship, and you're gonna say stuff that contradict what you say in the past. And I think, not that you're not allowed to change, you are totally allowed to change, but people don't take that like, they don't forgive that. They think now you're being paid to say what you're saying. So I say, try to not like be too negative just because it's gaining you exposure. Just be truthful, because the truth it's not trendy. Truth will always be there.
Absolutely. And as a viewer, that's why I always recommend, it's so important to diversify your information streams. Listen to so many different opinions, particularly when it comes to skincare. I'm like, you should be, you know, if you want to learn about a specific ingredient, learn about it from like 10 different, you know, accounts, 20 different accounts. Like, diversify where your information is coming from, so that you don't get caught in the cycle of the shock value information, the misinformation, all of that stuff, just by taking the time to really, like, you know, watch a bunch of different videos and read different articles and stuff like that. It will provide so much more nuance, and a lot of times it'll be a lot easier to see the truth than having to cut through the, wow, look at this, isn't this insane, scary, you know, all that kind of stuff that's you know, constantly in the space. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's a good reminder for like everyone.
Of course.
You know, definitely me as well. So thank you. I kind of want to finish up with some more like just rapid fire questions. Like a few of these I'm really interested to know, because there sometimes, like when we have like podcast episodes, I feel like we are delving into such serious, like deep topics, then it's like, oh, okay, we're out time. Okay, peace out, everyone.
Yeah, we wanna end it on a positive, light note.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'd love to hear from you. Like, first, would you rather give up sunscreen or smoking for the rest of your life?
Do I want to be vain or do I want to be enlightened? I'm just kidding. I think I would have to give up smoking, because I can get high other ways. I can take an edible.
That's true.
You didn't say I couldn't do that.
Take an edible. That makes so much sense. I didn't even think about it. That's a good loophole. Yeah. I'd probably say, like, I mean, like, we give some anxiety, but I'd say I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could spend a single day with any like celebrity or historical figure or iconic figure, who would you spend it with?
Oh my God, this is so hard.
I know.
I'm gonna say Prince, because I think.
Oh yeah.
I think I will be in for a surprise. You never know when it's gonna take you. And if he even take you at all, he's very selective with the people who he keep around. So if he is willing to take me with him, I think I will be in for a very surprising journey. So yeah,
agreed. That's cool. I love that response. Okay, and kind of I think I had found this question online, and I thought it was like, or someone on the team found it online, and I thought it was like genius. But for you, who would be your dream blunt rotation?
Oh my god. Oh my god, how many people can I pick?
Let's say like three other people.
Okay, 3 people. Shoot. Okay. Definitely Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Controversial for sure.
Very controversial.
But I want to meet him as a person outside of his politics and his comedy. I want to meet him as a person.
Okay.
And I want to peel more layers with him. Second person. I want to pick AOC.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh my god, AOC would be
I want to pick
incredible.
AOC. Oh my god. I am doing well. What's one more person that I would be a great vibe? Mia Khalifa.
Oh, she would be so cool.
No.
She'd be interesting.
Yes. I think that would be a very interesting mixed bag.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like for that, I would just sit back and watch the whole conversation.
Exactly. That's the only time I'm gonna practice my active listening skill and just sit back and like enjoy the vibe. Like no effort necessary for me.
Yes.
But yeah, those are the 3 people right now.
I love it. Oh my gosh, what a like diverse selection. It's amazing. Oh my god, that's great. Okay, I think honestly like that's the best.
Oh no, can I pick one more person?
One
Rihanna.
more. Shoot, who
you
is
have
it?
to pick Rihanna.
Oh.
Like no, why?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm gonna kick out Dave Chappelle. It's ladies only.
Yes.
Rihanna, AOC, Mia.
Oh my gosh, with Rihanna,
Period.
like I already know that she would be so much fun to just like kick back with a blunt. Like, oh, if I would like infiltrate your dream blunt rotation, I would just be like sitting there, just like sober, just like watching everything unfold. Be like, oh, that's beautiful. That's a great.
You could join us. I'll include you.
Honestly, I'd probably
I'll bring you as my +1.
Thank you. I'd probably just get high off the fumes. Just be sitting there, just like baking.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, that's a great question.
I feel like that's a perfect question to end on. I want you to share where people can follow you on social media.
If you want to, what's on Vsay on Instagram and TikTok. Yay.
Yes. Make sure you guys go follow her. She has content that really does like brighten your day and put a smile on your face. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast episode. I loved having this conversation with you because I love being able to connect with the type of people where you can just talk at length about deep topics and you all of a sudden are like, oh my God, where did the time go? So thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I can't wait to see you again the next time I'm in New York. And to everyone who's listening and watching, make sure you subscribe to the Justaposition YouTube channel. This is a presentation of Cadence 13th and Odyssey Studio. New episodes every Thursday, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you guys.